It's 3 p.m. Good afternoon and welcome to News Africana on KU 92.7 FM Benin City. First, the headlines. The 2021 African Union Summit opens virtually on Addis Ababa. In Addis Ababa, Libya embarks on new transition phase. Benin Republic presidential candidate wounded in gun attack. Details of these and more after this short break. I am Godslove Orlando. Now on the news. The annual session of the African Union, AU, opened on Saturday at the Continental Body's headquarters at Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. The President of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Felix Tshisekedi, has emerged as the new AU chairman, replacing Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa. The President of the AU Commission, Moussa Faki Mahamat, gave a scorecard of what had been achieved in the last 4 years at a summit at which Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari is also participating, albeit virtually. Meanwhile, United States of America President Joe Biden on Friday promised partnership with Africa and said he hoped to attend the next African Union Summit and about facing U.S. interest in a continent largely ignored by his predecessor. In a video message to this weekend's African Union Summit, being held virtually due to COVID-19, the new U.S. leader promised to work with Africans on his key priorities of fighting the virus and climate change, and also to advance diplomacy to end the continent's conflicts. In what have become early themes of the presidency, Biden vowed to promote democracy and the rights of sexual minorities, which are frequently under attack in Africa. Biden said he wanted to work with Africa on a future committed to investing in our democratic institutions and promoting the human rights of all people, women and girls, LGBTQ individuals, people with disabilities, and people of every ethnic background, religion, and heritage. Biden's predecessor, Donald Trump, was the first president since Ronald Reagan not to visit Africa during his tenure and rose to prominence by promoting the falsehood that his predecessor, Barack Obama, was born in Kenya. South Korean Trade Minister Yoon Yong-hee on Friday abandoned her bid to become head of the World Trade Organization (WTO), clearing the way for Nigeria's Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala to become the global body's first woman and first African Director General. South Korean's trade ministry in a statement said Yo had consulted with the United States, her prime backer, and other major countries and decided to renounce her candidacy. The process to name a successor to Roberto Azevedo had been deadlocked since October when key WTO ambassadors tapped Okonjo-Iweala as the best pick to lead the organization, but the Trump administration maintained its opposition to her appointment. The WTO head is normally chosen by consensus, leaving the process at a standstill. Observers suggested that South Korea was under pressure from the United States, a security ally that stations 28,500 troops in the country, to defend it from the nuclear-armed North to keep Yo in the race. The South's decision to withdraw her candidacy comes 2 weeks after Joe Biden was sworn in as the new president. And in Libya, where the country has embarked on Saturday on a new phase of its post-Gaddafi transition after the selection of a unity government to lead the country until December elections following a decade of chaos. In a potential turning point accord widely welcomed by the international community, 4 new leaders from Libya's west, east and south now face the task of unifying a nation torn apart by 2 rival administrations and countless militias. Abdel Hamid Dbeibah, a 61-year-old engineer, was on Friday selected as interim prime minister by a forum of 75 Libyan delegates at UN-led talks in Switzerland and culmination of a process of dialogue launched last November in Tunis. It marked the start of a new chapter for the country after the failure of a 2015 UN brokered deal that established a government of national accord headed by Fayez al-Sarraj. Libya has been hindered in violent turmoil, with the country riven by divisions between the GNA in Tripoli and a rival administration backed by military strongman Khalifa Haftar in the east. Acting UN envoy Stephanie Williams, who facilitated the week-long talks outside Geneva, said she was pleased to witness this historic moment. A Benin presidential candidate was wounded after gunfire hit his car soon after he formally filed his papers for presidential election in April against incumbent Patrick Talon, family members and the government said on Saturday. Daniel Soglo, a former minister and son of ex-president Nifore Soglo, was wounded on Friday on his way to his farm in Zeneve, 35 kilometers from the country's commercial capital, Cotonou. He was one of the 19 politicians who filed papers for the April 11th ballot. Many Beninois opposition figures are either in exile or are barred from running the election, promoting criticism the former French colony once seen as a model of democracy has turned into authoritarianism under Talon. Police have opened an investigation but have yet to issue a statement. Benin government's spokesman Alain Oronola condemned the attack and said security forces would apprehend the assailants. The opposition says the election is already fixed in favor of Talon, especially after a new provision of his electoral law requiring each candidate to be formally sponsored by 16 mayors or members of parliament. During parliamentary elections in April 2019, no opposition parties were allowed to present lists of candidates for votes. A year later, only 6 opposition challengers to sitting mayors won in municipal elections that were boycotted by some opponents. And that's the news, but before we go, let's take a quick recap of the headlines. 2021 African Union Summit opens virtually in Addis Ababa. Libya embarks on new transition phase. And finally, Benin Republic presidential candidate wounded in gun attack. Please do remember that the continuity of Nigeria is a collective responsibility. Be sure to play your part. Do not forget you can listen to us anywhere in the world, either by visiting our website at www.kufm.net, or you can download our mobile app from the Google Play Store. And for visual purposes, you can join us live on YouTube at KUFM Nigeria. KUFM's News Africana was produced by Libedum Asagwaram. Afternoon.
Now, back to the hits faster.
We are KU 927. Go!
We will not take longer than 90 seconds of your time. Timer starts now.
92.7. Turn on excitement.
Mud.
Bye, ile boy no. I don't wanna